Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel, and welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is we try to bring a series of audios to you in a regular interval way. We've got over 370 of those right now. And today we're going to talk about what can make a person lose interest in a romantic relationship or a friendship. There is about 5 or 6 things I want to go through here. If you're struggling to find balance relationally, emotionally, spiritually, I do coaching for relationships, personal growth, and entertainment, as well as business. And so hopefully there's something that can be helpful. Please go to the main About Me page on this here YouTube channel and go to the website there, and you'll find out all you need to about the potential for working together. So there's about 6 things I want to run through here. You can also contact me on Twitter at PO Perception if that's more easy for you or helpful. The first thing is the person doubts the level of commitment they're really ready for. A lot of times people mistake and misstep because they think that a person should want the style of relationship they want. And so that becomes problematic because if I don't want what you want out of a connection, or if I think I want one thing and I actually want another, or if I am lying to myself, and self-deception is such a big part of this, and I think I want something more serious than I actually do, the level of commitment issue becomes a major problem for the development of relationships, because if you've got your heart set on one outcome, one way of being, and then all of a sudden the person switches up on you and they say, hey, this isn't what I really wanted, your feelings are going to be hurt. Would you rather they commit to you and be disingenuous? Would you rather they commit to you and then cheat later? Would you rather they commit to you and then leave later? And so I think we've become, certainly in Western society, over-focused on speed and intensity of commitment. Very few people, I'd say about 10 to 20%, are actually ready to fully commit in the same way at the same time to relationships. It's not the way it was 50, 60, 70 years ago, where a committed relationship was considered almost a social normalcy. Now, there's so much focus on individuality that often people struggle in that area. The next thing is, if a relationship is founded on lust or physical attraction primarily, it's very hard for a person to commit in those situations because, obviously, if one gets their physical needs met and they continue to do that, especially people with issues with infidelity, issues with sexual addiction, addiction to pornography, and other such things, it can be very, very difficult for these people to formulate emotional attachments, not necessarily because they are incapable, but because if the basis of the beginning of the relationship is physical, and then the physical need is fulfilled, where does one go from there? Once a mission is complete, think of it like a video game. I've completed my mission, now what do? If I don't have another mission, I'm going to lose interest in the game, and relationships are very much similar to that. Next thing is, if you don't trust your own judgment about relationships, this is especially true for individuals who struggle with things like trauma, former abusive relationships, expectations from family and friends about their relationship status, but they're not really ready. People with panic disorders, people with depressive disorders often may feel obligated to be in a relationship, but they're not ready, or the social normalcy of the social group they're in, maybe a religious group or just a social group where everyone's getting married around the same time within a few years span, everyone's settling down and having families or buying homes together. The pressure to do these things can often make a person lose interest in the individual they're with, partially because they don't think they're ready, partially because they don't know if their judgment of the situation is proper. And then the other thing, I think the difference in today's relationships versus relationships that began, let's say, at least 60 to 70 years ago, the relationship was founded on a desire to build a life together rather than emotion. Now, that doesn't mean that there was an emotional connection, but the goal was let's work together. The goal was harmony first and emotion second. Now, emotion comes first and harmony is second, and so trusting oneself ability to make that commitment for decades can be extremely difficult in our current social environment. The next thing to think about is if we overshare too quickly. So, people who are expecting a relationship to save them or complete them, I despise the idea that another person will complete you. You are complete as you are, single or not. Now, a person can compliment you, they can raise you up, they can improve your quality of life, and you can improve theirs. But you're complete when you come in, and oftentimes people who are in a desperate space or feel like they're behind the eight ball and buying into the illusion of competition that they should already be in a certain form of relationship will jump ahead and overshare. They may spend all of their time and love bomb a person. They may become needy. They may become clingy. They may ultimately kind of block out other social or professional, personal responsibilities and kind of oversaturate the relationship, thus chasing the other person completely away. And the second to last thing is timing. So, just because you're ready for a committed relationship doesn't mean another person is. You may have met someone 6 months too early, a year too early, 5 years too early. And I've worked with thousands of couples, and there's a good number of them that take breaks from each other and come back together 2 years, 3 years, 5 years later, and it works. And then there's other people that think time will force a person to grow up, quote, quote, and it doesn't work that way because that's not how they're wired, and they've wasted or lost a lot of time around the idea that a person's going to change and see the world the way they do. So timing can be an issue, but also realistic compatibility. What is compatible? What's not compatible? Where am I willing to settle? Where am I willing to not drop my standards, but relax my standards? And where are my hard lines with standards? These are things one has to know before getting into a connection. So the last thing that's really important here is negative or bad communication skills, and so this plays out in a number of ways, including but not limited to a person who thinks they have to behave a certain way in order to maintain a relationship, thinks they should feel a certain way, so they kind of say what they think they can in order to either strengthen a bond in the short term or avoid conflict. Ultimately, those relationships will fall apart in really quick order because at the end of the day, these relationships are founded on telling someone what they want to hear versus what they need to hear, or what is actually the foundation of truth. And a relationship without truth won't actually last anyway. So that's the auspices of this particular video. Hopefully it's been helpful for you. Keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.